What is up, everybody? We are currently live on the channel as a severe weather, tornado, and blizzard insanity is basically occurring right now as a massive system is currently heading in for a lot of areas right now, guys. So we are going to get right into coverage here so you guys can all be prepared. Severe weather. One second real quick, everybody. I just got to copy this link and post this. Just waiting for some people to tune into the stream real quick and then we'll be ready. Alright, everybody, we are currently live on the channel. I hope everybody's currently having a fantastic day here. We have a mess of severe weather currently occurring right now across a lot of the U.S., so we are going to get right into this here. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for this area here. This is currently occurring across Marion County in Mississippi, in central and southern Mississippi right now. Hazards of 60 miles an hour wind gusts here for this exact storm. Let's see if we're on the right radar side. This one might be a little better right here. So this is our storm. It's a big mess right now, but the velocity definitely shows that we have some strong winds with this. Now, I do not think this is going to be much of a tornado threat, as it's kind of like a mess of storms, but I do definitely see the wind threat that is there with that storm. Now, if we go up here towards Collins and Bassfield here, we also have another severe thunderstorm warning with 60 miles an hour winds in effect, which I do not see a tornado threat very much with this one either, just due to the fact that it's a mess of storms right now. But if we get a storm that's kind of just not in this big mess right here, then we would have more of a tornado threat. But this isn't a tornado watch, so we definitely got to be watching this here. But for this area here, we've got some strong winds that are currently going to be occurring across the Bassfield area, up to 60 miles an hour for Bassfield, Collins, and Seminary. This does include Covington County, which is in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time here. I would definitely stay indoors. I mean, if you're outside, I don't know what the heck you're doing out there, but definitely stay indoors with this, as strong winds are currently heading in. Now, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning just to the north of that storm, which does include Raleigh, Silverina, and Demise and Taylorsville in Mississippi here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County in central Mississippi here. The same thing is forecasted with this one, just 60 miles an hour winds. The hail threat is very low with these storms. But this does also expire until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and they'll probably extend this. But I'm definitely expecting potentially up to 60 miles an hour winds with this, heading towards Bay Springs, Silverina, Taylorsville, Mize, and Raleigh. Now, we also have blizzard conditions currently occurring. I wanted to mention this in Nebraska right now. I would not be surprised if some of this has changed to snow. This is ice pellets, and in Omaha. So I'm guessing they're transitioning to snow now in the Omaha areas. But we've definitely got a big mess of snow here, which is some pretty heavy snow across South Dakota into Nebraska, all the way ranging up to Minnesota here, where we're going to be transitioning from rain to snow once these hours come in the next few hours or so. This will start to impact areas further east. It's raining right now in Kansas City, but this will switch to snow through the nighttime hours, and these are accompanied by really, really strong winds, and I mean really, really strong wind gusts. So definitely be prepared if you're in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota. We will keep watching that in the next little bit here. Okay. If anybody has any questions, I will be sure to answer here. I'm looking for any posts for weather right now currently. Storm Prediction Center. Okay, I wanted to mention this real quick. We do have a downstream watch that will be needed with a threat for damaging winds and embedded tornadoes that is expected this evening. Here, this is a watch probability 80% with a severe potential watch likely. This is a mesoscale discussion. In effect, here for a downstream watch will be needed for embedded tornado threats. See this line over here in Mississippi and Louisiana? Well, that right there is going to set the stage for the potential threat here in the future for the Panhandle of Florida into southern and central Alabama in the next few hours here. This is a threat for the evening hours, and I do expect this watch to be issued within the next hour or so, as these storms are moving further to the east here, and they will have a damaging wind and embedded tornado threat. Now, I do think the tornado threat has gone down significantly, but there still is definitely going to be a tornado threat in these areas that is going to be needed to watch very carefully here. Now, we do also have a mesoscale discussion for blizzard conditions that's going to become more common through the evening here. Gusts to 70 miles per hour and moderate to heavy snow rates are all possible with this right here, which is absolutely crazy to think about. 70 miles an hour gusts and moderate to heavy snow rates as the snow will start to fill in the next few hours here through the evening hours here. It's for Grand Island, Kearney, Columbus, Ord, Albion, and Norfolk, all in Nebraska. Here, that's going to get blizzard conditions. Wow. Just wanted to mention that. Now, if we go back to some of these severe thunderstorm warnings down here real quick, This includes the Columbia areas. We do have severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from near Bunker Hill to near Dexter, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Hazard 60 miles an hour wind gusts, source radar indicated impact. Expect damages to roofs, siding, and trees with this storm right here. The threats are 60 miles an hour winds. A tornado watch is in effect, but the current tornado threat is not too crazy right now. But this does include Columbia, Mississippi here. Let's go to the radar site down there. But yeah, definitely a wind threat potential here for this storm near Columbia that I am definitely expecting as the storm heads through. This includes Marion County in Mississippi right now. Now, if we go to the storm here near Collins, this same threat is still 60 miles an hour. Remember, tornado watch remains in effect for areas, so tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. Although a tornado is not currently immediately likely. If one is spotted, act quickly and move to a place of safety inside a sturdy structure, such as a basement or a small interior room. Now, this storm does not have the hugest tornado threat right now, but remember the conditions are favorable for tornadoes in this area. But the hazard is 60 miles an hour. Sorry. 60 miles an hour winds with this storm here heading towards Seminary in Collins here. This does include Covington County, and I do think this will be extended in the near future as this line is moving pretty quickly right now. Hello, Binky Dehart. Thanks for checking out my stream. But yeah, this storm is moving east at 25 miles an hour, which I thought it was actually moving a lot faster than that says. Because this one says it's okay, yeah. So they're not moving too fast, but it's still pretty fast. But yeah, definitely a big storm moving through right now. If you're in Seminary, Collins, even Ellisville, Laurel, and Soso, this storm will be impacting your area in the future, so I would start to get indoors right now. Now, this storm down here near Columbia was just extended. This will be heading towards Hattiesburg, Purvis, Lumberton, and Summerall in southern Mississippi in the near future, right on the border between Mississippi and Louisiana with this storm right here. This is going to expire at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and the storm will impact the Hattiesburg area around 5:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. With this is some sunrise around 6 p.m. Petal and Purvis around 5:50. Summerall, Pine Bird, and Sandy Hook around 5:20 p.m. As this storm is moving through right here. This is the line right here, and this is going to be moving to the east, heading into these areas. So I would stay indoors if you're in Lumberton, Purvis, Hattiesburg, and Summerall. The counties of this include southeastern Marion County in south central Mississippi, northwestern Forest County in southeastern Mississippi, and Lamar County in southeastern Mississippi. So. Alrighty. If anybody has any questions, I'll be sure to answer them. This storm is moving east at 30 miles an hour and definitely is pretty strong. I mean, I'm not saying this line is weak at all. And remember, these could produce tornadoes. We're watching these velocity signatures. There's not too much rotation with them right now, so I'm not too concerned at the near moment. The main threat right now just looks to be damaging winds. But some of these storms to the south here for the New Orleans area could produce tornadoes as they're a little bit more isolated right now in nature from each other. So I'll be watching these storms here near New Orleans too. Alrighty, so we go back to the storm down here. We also have, I wanted to mention, there's still the severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for Taylorsville and Bay Springs, heading also towards Montrose and Lewin areas. but that storm looks to be weakening significantly. Definitely weakening a lot. But the hazard is still 60 miles an hour wind gusts, but I would expect this warning to be expired, as it doesn't look too concerning currently at the moment. I'm more concerned about these storms to the south, heading for Seminary, Collins, Columbia, Purvis, and Hattiesburg. With these severe thunderstorm warnings that have the effects for 60 miles an hour winds right now. Okay, new tornado warning has been issued for that area. Is a little bit concerned about here, so we're going to focus exactly on this area right now. Tornado warning has just now been issued, so you need to be seeking shelter immediately here with this area. I'm going to add in my thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually gonna add in this one. I think this one looks cooler. One second, I'm trying to make the best image possible. This is like warning colors or something like that. Alright, that one looks cool. So we have a tornado warning currently in effect here. This is heading for Garyville, Laplace, Reserve, and Lutcher right now in Louisiana. You guys need to be seeking shelter immediately, and I mean immediately, for these areas currently that do have a tornado warning in effect right now. Get to shelter now, and I mean it now. For Garyville, Reserve, and Laplace, this is a tornado warning in effect. Now, there's not a tornado on the ground, but this is capable of producing a tornado. And the reason they issued this tornado warning in this red box right here that will be heading towards Lake Pontchartrain in the future is due to the fact that there's a rotation couplet over Garyville that could produce a tornado at any minute. And that's why you need to head to your safe spot. It's because if a tornado could be produced any minute, then you need to get to your safe spots in those areas there. As this storm is currently heading to the northeast here for this storm in Louisiana. This is pretty close to New Orleans, but this is over to the west of New Orleans, which is impacting the Garyville, Reserve, and Laplace areas with this system here. As this storm is currently heading through Garyville and Reserve right now. Seek shelter immediately in these areas, and I completely urge that you get to your safe spot if you are in these areas. I do definitely see the rotation couplet is right in this spot right here, is currently in that rotation couplet, that significant area of rotation that I'm concerned about. Hello, Redbird. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Yes, W. So this tornado warning is currently in effect. This is the area of rotation that I'm seeing just to the north of Garyville right now, and is going to be impacting Reserve and Laplace. If we look at the counties in this is in effect for Central St. John the Baptist, Northeastern St. James, and South Central Tingapow parishes under this tornado warning. Take cover now, move to a basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows if you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, and move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Definitely concerned about this tornado warning currently for Garyville, Reserve, Laplace. That is including Eastern Ascension Parish, Northeastern St. James Parish, South Central Tingapow Parish, and Southeastern Louisiana right now. With this tornado warning that is currently in effect that we are watching right now. Alrighty. So with this tornado warning currently located near reserve, you do need to be heading to your safe spot right now. This is moving northeast at 55 miles an hour currently. I'm definitely concerned about this storm because this was the storm I was looking at that is kind of isolated from the other storms. It's not right next to the other storms. There's not a bunch of clutter of rain that's currently occurring with this storm, which is why I am watching this storm very closely here for this area right here that is moving to the northeast right now. It is not in the most populated area in the world. It's decently close to New Orleans, but it's not in the most populated area in the world. But don't let your guard down, even if it's not in a really populated area, because there's definitely a good amount of population here, and could be a potential tornado in the future. So you need to be heading to your safe spot if you are currently getting impacted by this storm, as this is our rotation culprit that I'm concerned about right here, which is to the north of Garyville in reserve right now, and La Place in Louisiana here. They just updated. This is the tornado warning in effect with this storm right here. If I go to the correlation coefficient here, I do not see any signatures saying we have a tornado on the ground, but I will get updates if we do see any tornado on the ground with this storm. Alrighty, everybody. So this tornado warning still currently in effect here. You guys do need to be watching this. I do notice a little bit of a downtrend in this tornado warning right now, but do not let your guard down, as a tornado is definitely possible with this storm here. So you do need to be heading to your safe spot right now with this tornado warning that is currently in effect for this area right now currently here. This is the tornado warning located near reserve, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour with this storm right now. Take cover now. Move to basement or an interior room. This is north of La Place and located near reserve right now in Louisiana for northern St. John the Baptist parish right now. Take shelter immediately. So I'm in your safe spot for this storm right now. I'm definitely watching the storm really clearly right now. I do not think we have a tornado on the ground, but this definitely could change. Although this will not last for too long, as this storm will be heading into the lake in the future. But it could produce a water spout, honestly, in the lake. onto our train. That just shows how close this storm is to the lake, but it's definitely in that New Orleans vicinity, but it's north of La Place right now. All right. Let's go over to these storms up north real quick. For this storm currently in effect for Hattiesburg, Purvis, and Lumberton and Summerall, the threat right now is for 60 miles an hour wind gusts in that area right now, which we are watching. Now, I do not think these storms are too significant, but I will be watching these storms very clearly here. This storm also near Ellisville, heading towards Ellisville, Laurel, Sandersville, and Soso right now, which does also have the threat for 60 miles an hour winds. It will be in Ovette around 6:05 p.m., Mill Creek about around 6 p.m., Sandersville around Tucker's Crossing in Sandersville around 5:50, Ellisville, Estabucci, and Moselle around 5:40 p.m. Central Standard Time here. For this storm that's currently impacting southeastern Covington County in southeastern Mississippi and Jones County in southeastern Mississippi too, which are watching the threat for winds with this storm right now, as this storm is currently heading to the east. If anybody has any questions, I will answer them, but if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Just need to check up on something real quick. Alright, if we look at the update to this storm right now, currently this is heading towards Ellisville, Laurel, Sandersville, and Soso here. This is going to bring some pretty intense winds, as you can see from the velocity that is currently moving to the east. And in the next 30 minutes or so, we'll reach the Ellisville, Laurel, Soso, and Sandersville areas. And you definitely do need to be staying indoors. This is producing some pretty strong winds right now. Now, same thing with this storm heading towards Hattiesburg, Purvis, Lumberton, and Summerall. Okay, now if you look back at this... Okay, I need to go back to the tornado warning real quick, just because this is something we really need to be watching. Now, for the storm here back to the north of La Place that I'm still watching right now, this is the close range reflectivity right now. This is the storm we are currently looking at, and it's a pretty strong storm right now, but I'm noticing that the close range radar has a pretty tight couplet of rotation right there that I am watching. So areas north of La Place do need to be heading into their safe spot right now, as a tornado warning is in effect currently. Definitely be heading into your safe spot if you are in that area there right now. For areas north of La Place, this does include northern St. John the Baptist Parish County, where we have these velocity signatures right here. This is showing the potential to produce a tornado. See these reds moving into the greens? That's the inflow and outflow, and they're connecting, which is causing them to rotate around. This is why we are concerned that this could produce a tornado. Now, this is getting really close to honestly crossing into the lake Pontchartrain. So this could potentially produce a water sprout, as in the next 5 minutes or so this is going to reach the ocean, but it could be impacting homes right now if it's a tornado or not, which I do not know if it's 100% a tornado. The recent scan just kind of weakened a little bit. I'm still watching this rotation couplet right now. Now, this thing might not be producing a tornado, but you still need to be heading to your safe spots. And once this thing even crosses over the ocean, it will, not the ocean, sorry. The lake's so big, I'm calling it an ocean, but Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana. Once it crosses that, it could produce a water spout and impact seas pretty dangerously here. So we are definitely watching this storm significantly, as we do have this strong velocity signature right now for this area. Now, what I also wanted to mention here is we have a literal snow squall warning, if you've ever heard of that, in effect here for Osceola and York, and Shelby, Stromsburg, Gresham, Thayer, Waco, and Bradshaw in Nebraska right now here. This is a snow squall warning that is going to expire in around 6 minutes, but dangerous and life-threatening travel conditions are expected to develop in this area here, which is a literal blizzard right now. Intense bursts of heavy snow, gusty winds leading to blowing snow, and visibility rapidly falling to less than 1/4 miles. Wind gusts greater than 50 miles an hour could blow around unsecured options. So this is a snow squall currently impacting York County and Polk County in east central Nebraska right now. That is, I mean, it's crazy how we're talking about severe weather and snow in the exact same live stream. Funny, huh? But yeah, this is what's occurring in Nebraska right now with some really heavy snow and strong winds. It's going to cause blizzard conditions, and it's going to get even worse within the night comes. Okay, yeah, that storm that is just now crossed over the ocean here now has a special marine warning in effect, which is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing waterspouts located near Lake Maurepas right now, which is moving northeast at 50 knots. Waterspouts and wind gusts in excess of 50 knots right now, and this is going to cause dangerous high winds and suddenly higher waves expected. So seek shelter and move to safe harbor immediately if you are on Lake Pontchartrain. This is also going to impact the bridge that goes through Lake Pontchartrain areas right now with this storm, and the velocity signature has just now made it to the ocean. So everyone that was being impacted by that tornado warning is now lucky, as they just changed that, as that tornado warning was currently located near the place, but luckily that thing has moved onto the ocean before it could produce any tornado and cause bad impacts with that storm there. I was definitely pretty concerned about that storm, so it's a good thing it's crossed over to the lake, but the only problem is that it's going to make it back to land in the next 30 minutes or so. Now, this radar is not the best for the radars right now. We're kind of in a big radar hole with these severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently in effect. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Hattiesburg, Purvis, Lumberton, into Sumrall areas. That is currently in effect here, where we do expect strong winds to occur. You can see this line of wind that is currently moving to the east that is going to bring 60 miles an hour winds. Now, these storms could produce embedded tornadoes, but right now I do not see the hugest potential of embedded tornadoes, but I'm definitely watching these storms for that potential right now, currently. Across the Hattiesburg, Ellisville, Laurel, Sandersville, and DeSoto areas, across southeastern Covington County and Jones County in southeastern Mississippi, and the other storm for southeastern Marion, northwestern Forest, and Lamar counties in southeastern Mississippi right now, as these two storms are going to produce some pretty strong winds. right now. Now, this potential snow thing that is currently occurring is going to be impacting Bradshaw, York, Waco, Thayer, Benedict, Gresham, Stromsburg, and Osceola, as this is a snow squall currently occurring here. Visibility, there was just a report of a snow squall and reduced visibility as 50 winds gusting above 50 miles an hour currently occurring across these areas in Nebraska are going to be causing snow squall and potentially even blizzard conditions here. Lincoln, Nebraska is also being impacted by this, and the areas in Omaha are currently getting mixed rain and ice pellets and will be switching to snow in the next hour or so in the Omaha area. Now, this will also impact Kansas City in the next few hours or so. I also wanted to mention is I am seeing a good amount of clearing currently with this system over here towards Joplin, Springfield, St. Louis areas that could potentially bring a cold core wind and maybe isolated tornado or two setup. Now, there was originally supposed to be a lot of rain clutter over here, but that did not end up happening. So I'm definitely a little concerned about this. This is definitely producing a little small areas of hail, but see these developing storms right here? They are really weak right now, but could definitely have some tornado potential in the future. We could maybe see a few spin-up tornadoes in that area. Hello, Jay. Please stop spamming in my chat. I've seen you in my old live streams before, too, which is kind of funny. But just MS nicely, please stop spamming in my chat. Because I honestly, I wish I could answer your questions, but I do not know what you are saying at all. Like, I know some Spanish because I'm taking the class, but I do not know how to answer your Spanish stuff. Honestly, if you speak Spanish, I would try joining a live stream that someone has for Spanish talking or Spanish speaking or something like that, because I don't know how to answer questions. All I know is you're talking about Puerto Rico. So, but hey, I'm not saying you have to leave my stream. For these severe thunderstorm warnings in Purvis, Hattiesburg, Ellisville, Laurel, and Sandersville that I'm still watching here, this does have the threat for strong winds, as this is the velocity line showing that the strong winds are currently moving to the east, with these storms heading towards Hattiesburg, Purvis, Ellisville, Laurel, and Sandersville in southeastern Mississippi right now. All right. Okay, new tornado watch was issued, so I'm going to bring this up real quick. If I can find it. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm watching here. So this is a tornado watch currently in effect. This Santa Rosa Beach, Monroeville, Opp, Montgomery, Selma, Clanton, and Demopolis areas that are currently in a tornado watch, with a few tornadoes being likely in this area. I don't know why my thing just turned off. And a few tornadoes are likely in this tornado watch area that has just been issued for the western panhandle of Florida into southern Alabama areas with scattered gusts up to 80 miles an hour likely, they're saying, which is pretty high likelihoods there. And isolated hail up to quarter size also being possible with this. Hey, Jay, can you stop spamming in my chat? Because I'll have to, if you keep spamming, then I'll have to time you out for a few minutes. Alright, let's go back to the radar coverage. Alrighty, for these storms here for Purvis, Hattiesburg, Ellisville, there was a wind report of 1-inch tree limbs breaking and shingles blown off, so that's definitely a concern. Now that storm that was over, that tornado warning that was in effect for a lot of places now crossed into the ocean, so that tornado warning has expired, but it's going to potentially produce some water spouts here for the Lake Pontchartrain areas. These are some strong storms with, honestly, right now I'm seeing a higher tornado threat in these areas that I am definitely watching currently here across Louisiana, as it's not really cluttered with a bunch of other storms like the storms further north are in Mississippi. Alright, we currently have a new snow squall warning in effect. It's for not reason being shown on radar scope, but this is in effect across Nebraska here, as we do have blizzard conditions potentially, as strong winds plus heavy snow is currently occurring across Lincoln, Nebraska, into areas all across eastern Nebraska right now, including Norfolk and Lincoln, Nebraska currently, as heavy snow plus really strong winds. We could see gusts up to 70 miles an hour later this evening as this switches over to snow here near the north of Kansas City areas, which is going to be a pretty big concern in general with that. I want to go check on the models real quick. I want to do that, yeah. Let's do that real quick. I gotta move this morning. Just hide that real quick. But this is what I do want to mention here is we could see an isolated threat of a tornado or two in Missouri, in this area right here, with the cold core setup moving north. And the reason for this is due to a little bit of surface-to-base cape that is currently in effect in those areas that I am watching right now. Now the HRR is not really showing that there's not really raining in these areas right now, and it's kind of funny to me that it's not really tending to show that. But there's going to be some backside snow, and this snow is going to reach, if we look at this, the snow is going to reach the Kansas City areas around the 10 p.m. time, and it's going to dump snow. It's going to reach Des Moines around 1 to 2 a.m. here, and it's just going to dump snow across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, into Missouri. Just absolutely just going to dump snow in these areas. And the concern is these areas right here, as blizzard conditions are possible. The winds won't be as strong further north, but blizzard conditions are possible in these areas, as if we switch to wind gusts, the winds there are going to be really, really high, really high. I wouldn't be surprised. We could see 60 to even 70 miles an hour at the highest, but 60 miles an hour gusts possible around the 3 a.m. time in Kansas City, and Des Moines, and Norfolk, and Nebraska, and Kansas areas. That's going to be just crazy. Just some very, very strong winds there. That is going to be occurring. Crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to mention. So, they just issued the newest snow squall warning for McCool Junction, Fairmont, Exeter, Geneva, String, Ohio, and Milligan. Sorry, said some really hard to pronounce words right there. But this is currently a snow squall warning in effect here for southern York County and east central Nebraska, in Fillmore County in south central Nebraska, with a dangerous snow squall located along a line extending from near Utica to near York, moving south at 50 miles an hour. Intense bursts of heavy snow, gusty winds leading to blowing snow, and visibility rapidly falling to less than 1/4 mile, and wind gusts greater than 50 miles an hour could knock down tree limbs and blow unsecured objects. And this is what we're currently watching right here. If I cut this real quick, this is what we're watching that is heading south right now. This big area of heavy snow right now. See that little yellow areas? That's a heavy band of snow moving south into this area and going to produce some really, really strong winds. That's why they issued a snow squall warning there for those areas. And this is moving really fast at 50 miles an hour. So this will be in these areas in no time. There for McCool Junction, Fairmont, Exeter, Geneva, Milligan, String, and Ohio. Thanks to everybody who's currently watching my stream. Now, we do have this severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Laurel, Ellisville, Sandersville, Purvis, Hattiesburg, still in effect, with these strong winds currently heading towards the east right now in this area right here. For Hattiesburg, Laurel, and Ellisville, it's currently impacting those areas with some pretty strong winds. But I also want to mention a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued here. This does include Pachuta, Quitman, Stonewall, Enterprise, Heidelberg, and Shibuya in extreme eastern portions of Mississippi and east central Mississippi here, or southeast Mississippi, I guess you could say, and will be impacting Alabama in the future. But this is for eastern Jasper County and Clark County, east central Mississippi here, with this storm, and it's definitely a pretty strong one. The threat is 60 miles an hour winds with this storm, and I do not think there's too much of a tornado threat right now, but if you look at these velocities, this is the winds heading to the east right now and is going to be impacting the Enterprise areas. It's going to impact Stafford Springs, Barnett, Stonewall, Pachuta, Orange, Heidelberg, Goodwater, and Enterprise around 5:55 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Quitman and DeSoto around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Middleton, Shibuya, and Sable around 6:05 p.m. and Sykes and Crandall around 6:10 p.m. and Snell around 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, with this severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Now, the storm will also be heading towards Richton, State Line, Waynesboro areas in the future, too, as we have a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for those areas there. Waynesboro State Line and Richton here, really on the state line for central Mississippi, southeastern Mississippi, I meant, in northern Perry County, Wayne County, and northern Greene County in southeastern Mississippi right now, as a strong line of storms is currently moving in. As you can see right there, is heading to the east. This will be impacting Waynesboro, Mississippi in the future. Now, alrighty, guys, I'll be right back real quick. I just need a little break. Real fast. Alrighty, everybody. I will be having to take a break soon as it is dinner time for me. But I will be coming back to the live in the future, maybe. But we are currently live streaming. Real quick, I need to... So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, as this line does seem to be strengthening a little bit. We might see a little bit of re-strengthening, and if we do see more tornado warnings, then I will keep up the stream. But a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Meridian, Nellyburg, Marion, Toomsuba, Meridian Station, DeKalb, Scuba, and Collinsville areas where strong winds are currently expected. Now, more severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect, ranging all the way from Hattiesburg all the way up to Quitman, all the way up there. So new severe thunderstorm warnings are definitely getting in effect in Mississippi, which will be impacting Alabama in the future, as each of these storms all have warnings with 60 miles an hour winds in effect. Alrighty, guys. So I'm going to take a break for a while, as I'm going to have to eat dinner. Sorry if everybody did enjoy this stream for a little while. I may come back later, may not.